Welcome back to Cheyenne Tarot. This is a pick a card reading for what is ahead for next week. So your week ahead, what should you expect? What should you be focused on for next week? So we have 5 piles here. This is pile 1, the light pink. Pile 2, the orange. Pile 3 is the bright dark pink. Pile 4 is the green, and pile 5 is the blue. Okay, so as it goes with pick a card readings, you're gonna scan all the piles, and I want you to focus on the colors. Whichever color that seems to resonate with you, whichever color that you seem to just keep staring at and just keep going back to, I believe that's the correct pile for you. Okay, so we're gonna start with pile number 1, the light pink, and let me remove the other piles. So bear with me. And I want to say that this is a general reading, and so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. It might not be meant for everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if so, please subscribe to my channel, and let me zoom in. Okay, so people who picked 1, the pink, pile number 1. So for people who picked 1, what should you expect for next week? What should you be focused on, pile number 1? All right. So let's get your cards out here. Okay. All right. So right away, pile number 1. What I'm getting is that next week is about you receiving. All right, so the week ahead of you is not going to be a lot of action. Once again, for people who pick pile number 1, next week is not about action. There's not a lot of action going to be going on. It's not going to be a good week for you to do a lot of things or be proactive. Actually, next week for you is all about receiving, right? So the yin. This represents feminine energy, which men and women both, we have levels of feminine energy. And with feminine energy, the yin, it's about receiving. Okay, receiving love, receiving gifts, letting a person approach you, not being the aggressor. Okay, and it's more of a gentle, passive energy. And when I say passive, I do not mean that in a negative way, because you can be overly passive. Okay, it's a time to be aggressive, and it's a time to be passive. So next week for you is about being passive. I do not feel that next week is going to be a lot of action going on. It's not a good week for you to do a lot of activities, to start projects and doing all that and initiating things. No, it's more of a passive week for you. It's more of a week of receiving. And so to confirm this, it says there is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. Easy does it. That's confirming. You need to take a passive role next week. Don't be in a hurry. Walk slowly. Next week is not about you running and rushing. So if you're expecting, let me reverse this. I was going to say if you're expecting something, you could be receiving something coming in, because once again, Page of Cups is about offer, receiving something. Okay, you see he's offering. This is also about you opening up your emotions. Okay, next week, this is about you listening to people, being sympathetic, opening up your heart. That's what the Page of Cups represent. Opening up your heart, getting in tune with your feelings. Receiving others' opinions, listening to people, being compassionate, and lending an ear. Okay, so next week for you, you are working more in your feminine energy, and this is not, you could be receiving something, but what I get next week is just a slow week, meaning it's a slow paced week. It's about you receiving things, okay? Working more in the feminine energy, being a listener, being sympathetic, being accepting of other people's emotions, not shutting people off, being accepting of your emotions next week. It's about you taking it easy, not rushing things to happen. Next week is not a week of action. It's not a week of getting things done, okay? So things that you need to get done, next week will not be a good week for that. Next week is not a good week, pal number one, for you to get quote unquote things done. It's not a week for you to be rushing, doing a lot of things. Okay, this is a week for you to chill, take it easy, and let people give to you next week. It's about you kind of taking a back seat next week. It's not about, once again, you rushing and doing things and trying to get things done. Next week is not a week of action for you. You may be receiving something, but next week is not a week for you to give. The week ahead is not about you giving anything, or going out of your way, or being very action prone. Next week is a week of you receiving, okay? Feminine energy, being compassionate, listening to people, letting people talk to you about their issues, letting people express their emotions to you, you accepting your own emotions about a situation, being more in the feminine energy. Like I said, not rushing. There's no need to rush or force things to happen. Everything is occurring at perfect time. Next week is not a week for you to rush anything. I don't care what you're working on. I don't care what's on your mind. Next week would not be a good week for you to have action towards anything that you've been working on. It just won't be a good week for that. Okay, so that is your reading, pile number one, about the week ahead. Take it easy, being your feminine energy, and focus on receiving. Okay, next week will not be a week for you to be the person to be the aggressor. Next week is not a week for you to be doing things that are very action prone. Okay, no action next week. Okay, so that's pile number one. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Okay, so people who pick pile number two, which is the orange, I hope this is coming up good as the orange. Okay, people who pick pile number two. So what is your week gonna look like next week? Sorry, put the cards. What is ahead of you next week, pile number two? What is ahead of you? Okay, so this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. It might not resonate with everyone, so this wasn't the reading for you, but for someone who's watching this, oh wow, this is a very specific reading for somebody. So what I'm getting is that someone's going to be offered a relationship. This is Ace of Cups, so this is an offering. You see the hand, offering of love, offering of emotions. The cup runneth over with water, with emotions. So someone's going to be offered a relationship. Someone's going to be offered something next week. This is about opening up your heart, letting your guard down. Next week, you're going to be in the transformation phase. It says you're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. And I feel a great blessing is going to happen for you, being offered something. It could be a friendship. This definitely represents being offered love, but it can be also offering a friendship, counting on your friends, joy and peace. But I get someone's going to be offered something, and the deep knowing card, I'm getting this reading gives me off of a emotions, let's see, relationship type vibe. I'm not getting much dealing with money from pile number two for next week. Nothing significant about money. This is dealing with family and relationships. So you're going through a transformation next week, and there's a deep knowing. So what this is saying, that you know deep down this is a good thing for you. They're saying deep down you know what's going to be offered is going to be a good thing for you. Deep down you know that this transformation this change that you're going to be going through next week is going to be good for you. Okay, so I get the feeling though this transformation has been happening for a while. It's just not going to start next week. It's almost a continuation of it. I don't think just next week, okay, bam, the transformation is going to happen. I think it's been a thing that's been occurring or in the process for a while now. But it's saying that you know deep down this transformation is good for you. Pile number two, you know deep down. Okay, so next week the focus is going to be still in that transformation and being offered something. This represents joy, peace, intense friendships. But I get someone's going to be offered, someone could be offered a relationship. Someone could flirt with you. Someone could just offer you a friendship, ask you to go out. But you're going through a transformation next week, and it's saying that you know this transformation is a good thing. You know deep down. Maybe in your conscious mind you don't. You're kind of apprehensive about, because whenever we're going through a transformation, anytime we're dealing with change, sometimes it brings, how can I say, it brings anxiety. This saying that this change that you're going through brings a great blessing. Once again, this is a general reading. This may not resonate with everyone. This may be just for one person, but someone's going through a transformation. Okay, things are changing in their life. All right, and this is saying that you know this is a good thing. They are saying you know this is a good thing. Accept it. It is a good thing. It's nothing to be in fear of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be sad of. You know deep down this is a good thing. For some people, change, just feels weird. They like stability. They like things to stay the same. And in life, sometimes things don't stay the same. Okay? So, Spirit is saying that next week is about transformation, or I feel continuing a transformation. That's just what I'm getting. And that is it's dealing with family and emotions or relationship. That's what I'm getting. Ace of Cups deals with relationships, family, love. And so someone could be offering you a relationship. You could maybe meet a new friend. Whatever it is, it's saying to accept it. And it's a good thing. Okay, pile number 2, accept it. It's a good thing. Accept the transformation that you're going through. There are changes happening, and that deep down those changes are good for you. Okay, pile number 2, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If so, please subscribe to my channel and see you next time. Okay, so people who pick pile number 3, the dark pink. Pile number 3 is the dark pink. Okay, pile number 3. Let's see, what does the week hold for you? What does next week hold for you? What's happening next week? Endings and beginnings. What should you focus on? 8 of Wands. And truth be told. Okay, immediately what I'm getting is that you need to be truthful with yourself next week. The coming week, something's been going on with you, and it's time for you to, pile number 3. Oh, let me say first, this is a general reading. Okay. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If this does not resonate, take what does, leave the rest behind. Or this just was not the reading for you. But someone who's watching this, and probably more than one person, next week is about you being truthful with yourself. It says, truth be told. You need to be truthful with yourself about a situation next week. It's going to come to a head. Okay, something that you really need to focus on next week. And this is about being truthful with yourself about a situation. Because it is time for you to end something. It says endings and beginnings. The old must be released so that the new can come in. New can enter. So you need to end something. It could be a relationship. It could be a way of thinking. Something needs to end so that the new can come in. And you know it's time for it to end, but you have been resistant to it. You've been resistant to it, pile number 3. Once again, it's time for you to be truthful with yourself, pile number 3, about something that needs to end. Because it's time for a beginning. And next week, that's what your focus needs to be on. It may end next week. Whatever this is, it may come to a head next week. But regardless, because you know how it goes. We have a thought first, then we act on it. So next week, the ending might not actually happen next week, but your mindset towards it is going to put into motion. Whether it's ending a relationship, whether it's ending a career, whether it's deciding to quit a job, whatever it is, it's an ending that needs to happen. And you know deep down it should happen, but you've been resistant to it. Someone's been resistant to ending something in their life. And next week, Spirit is saying next week is about you confronting this, and you can't run from it anymore. And then the 8 of Wands, this is about major crossroads in life. Okay, and it also represents things moving swiftly, things going fast. Okay, so what I'm getting is that you need, whatever's happening, it could end just abruptly. It could just end. I'm getting that, or that it needs to end quickly. You need to be truthful with yourself, and you need to end whatever this is, or that it's just going to end itself. Because sometimes in life we know something isn't working out. Sometimes in life we know something isn't working out, but we hang on. It could be anything: relationships, a career, a place, a city we live in. We hang on to it. The way we look, or whatever it is, we hold on to something that's not benefiting us anymore, and we're afraid to release it. And sometimes what happened, it releases itself. It can swiftly just end for us. Okay, so I'm getting 2 messages here. One is that whatever it is that you need to end, Whether, you need to be truthful with yourself about it. But whether you're truthful with yourself or not, it's going to end. Next week is coming to an end. Swiftly, quickly, abruptly. Okay? Or you need to quickly make a decision. Okay? It may not end on its own, but you need to release it as quickly as possible. You came to a crossroads in your life, and it's time to this is a move forward card. It's time to move forward. So it can either be that you just need to move, this is just confirming you need to end things and move forward in your life. You need to be truthful with yourself about the situation. You're not happy. This situation is not right for you. You know it. Truth be told, but you've been in denial about it. It's time to end things, and this means forward motion, moving forward. You need to move forward in your life and end things. Or this could mean that next week it's going to end for you quickly, abruptly. It could be you're dating someone and things been going bad, and you come home and they pack their stuff and left. I hope that doesn't happen like that. But I'm just saying, it sometimes when we hold on to things and we don't how can I say this? And we don't voluntarily let it go. Hopefully I said that right. If we don't volunteer basically to release it, it releases itself. It could be quickly. Okay. So I know maybe this isn't the most upbeat reading, pile number 3, but what I get is that it's actually a positive thing, because you're releasing something old. You're being truthful with yourself, and the sooner you can get through this, the quicker that your new life can enter. The quicker that the new can enter, and you can start moving forward. You have to move forward for motion. You got to move forward. So something has to end for you to move forward. All right. And you need to be truthful with yourself. And that's a beautiful thing, because then your life is going to get better. You want your life to improve, not go backwards. And if you hold on to whatever this is, your life is going to stay stagnant and go backwards. If you want your life to go forward and move forward, you got to end whatever this is that isn't working for you. Move forward so that the new can enter and you can have a better life. Okay, pile number 3. Hopefully you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Okay, people who pick pile number 4, which is the green, what is ahead for you next week? Pile number 4, people who pick the green, what's ahead for you next week? Okay, so immediately what I'm getting is that your focus next week is about money, focusing on money. Okay, and breaking a never-ending cycle. So you have never-ending story. So there's something negative that has reoccurred in your life over and over again, pile number 4. Oh, and by the way, this is a general reading. So take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't resonate, take what does. And if it doesn't resonate at all, this was not the reading for you. But this reading is for somebody. Okay. So once again, someone who's watching this, and possibly a lot of people, there's a never-ending story that keeps occurring in their life. They might keep gravitating the same kind of people in a relationship. Things might always end the same. It's like they're dating the same person over and over again. They might always accumulate money, then soon lose it afterwards. Something along those lines. It's just a never-ending story, but it's not a good story. It's not nothing positive. It's a never-ending story. And so next week is about you breaking that. And it's about you, and I just get the feelings dealing with money though. That is never-ending stories dealing with money. Someone that is listening to this is not good with money, or maybe they're used to being too generous with their money, or they spend too much. And this thing next week is about you holding on to your money. This is the focus needs to be next week, 4 of Pentacles, on you holding on to your money. Look how he's holding tight onto his money. That's not a bad thing. His foot is on 2 pentacles, which pentacles represent money, business, material things. Okay, so his foot is on 2 pentacles. He has one on his head and he's holding one. So he's holding his money tightly to him. Okay, so next week you need to be saving your money. Someone who's watching this, I just feel is not good at saving, or like to spend a lot, and then they end up never in the story not having enough money, having to borrow or take out a loan. So what I'm getting, if you want to break this cycle, break this story, if you not have enough money or savings, or just not have enough money, it's about you holding on to your money, not just throwing it away. Writing down what are you spending your money on. It's not about you just being, next week is not about you being too free with your money. It's about you being tight with it. You're going to need your money. Okay. And fertility, this is about It's the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. This card for me, what I'm getting, resonates perfectly with the never-ending story. It's time for you to start thinking differently about money. It's time for you to create a different, it's saying give birth to new conditions. It's time for you to give, it's time for you to create new conditions in your life by creating new thoughts about money. It's time for you to do things differently regarding money. That someone who's watching this is not that good with money. And I know how it is because I like to spend. I like to shop. So someone who's watching this is just not good with money the way they should be. Not terrible, but just, maybe like to spend a lot. And this Four of Pentacles clearly is telling you to hold on. Look at that. You need to hold on to your money. Hold on tightly. Don't spend it on things you don't have to. Look at ways next week where you can cut costs. It's about you holding on to your money and looking at money in a different way. Thinking about money in different ways so you can be prosperous. This is about fertility. This is about creating things. Starting anew. Start new projects. This is about being fertile. Okay, and so it's saying, what I'm getting, you're starting something, you're starting a new way of thinking so that you can stop. You can stop this never-ending story of not having enough money. Of money always being, not having enough, coming short. When it's time for rent, it's always an issue. Okay, and you're tired of it. Power number 4. Someone who's watching this is tired of dealing with money issues. Next week is about you. Next week you need to not spend much. It's about you holding on. You may want to spend on something that you normally, maybe every week you buy a box of cigarettes or something. I don't know. It's something that you always spending money, and it's saying whatever you're spending this money on, you need to cut costs. Hold on to your money. If you want to call it being stingy next week, then be stingy. However you want to put it. If you're a person who loves to give people money and you're very generous, it's time for you not to be generous next week. And it's time for you to change your whole mindset. Bring in a new condition. Change your whole mindset about money so that you can stop this never-ending story. This never-ending story that keeps replaying in your life about you not having enough money. Because it just seems like it just keeps it keeps falling out of your hand. But it's saying to hold on to it next week. It's about you holding on to it. So if you got to be stingy next week and tell people, no, I can't lend you any money, whatever, or you used to buying certain things every week, you're gonna have to cut back because you want to stop this never-ending story and not have enough money coming in, or when things need to be paid, you seem to not have enough. You're tired of that, and it's time for you to take it serious. Hold on to your money and actually create a new condition, a new way of thinking about money. Okay? So hopefully this resonated. I'm pretty sure it did for someone. If you enjoyed this reading, power number 4, please subscribe to my channel and see you next time. Okay, people who pick power number 5, what is ahead of you next week? Okay, if you pick the blue, power number 5. What's ahead of you next week? What should you be focused on? What's going on next week? What's happening? Okay. So I'm actually getting 2 messages here immediately. 2 things that you need to be focused on, but okay, this is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everyone. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And if it doesn't resonate at all, it just was not the reading for you. So power number 5. What's ahead of you next week? What should you be focused on? What's going on? Next week is about you starting from the bottom. Now we're here, as they say. Next week is about you starting from the bottom and building blocks, building foundation. You got the building blocks card, and some people don't like this card, laying a foundation down, because people want to be at the finish line in life. And to me, life is about cycles. So whenever you start a new project, like here, you're starting over, you have to have patience. So one part of life is you starting something new, maybe going to school. That's the foundation. Then you get out of school. Then you in the first phase of actually going out and finding a career. And then you're in the third phase where you're further along your career. Then maybe the 4th phase, you get a promotion. See, and then it might start all over. Maybe after a while of doing that career for 10 years, you're tired of it. Then you start a whole new career over, and then you're back building blocks. You're back again at the beginning, needing to have patience. Okay, so that's why I personally feel that you shouldn't get too wrapped up on where you're at in your life at a certain age, or you expected to be here or do this at because you can say that you want to be at a certain place in your life and you get there and you're not even happy, or it's good it didn't happen, because you eventually wouldn't have wanted to have stayed doing that. So just let life flow and just keep working towards your goal. So this is saying whatever goal you're working towards, building blocks, continue to do that. Next week is all about you starting from the beginning. So it's either a continuation of you building a foundation for a business, starting something new, whatever it is that you're trying to get started, having patience. I don't care if it's losing weight. I don't care if it's gaining weight. I don't care if it's dealing with school. It's something that you're laying a foundation for, and you haven't seen the results yet because you're in the beginning stages. It's saying that for people who pick pile number 5, someone who's watching this, you're in the beginning stages of something, at the very beginning. And it's saying that you just started. Okay, so have patience with yourself in the process and do not give up. I understand how it feels to have patience when you're a person who don't have patience, because I have issues with being patient about things, major issues. I like to already be at the finish line. And so what I'm saying to you, Spirit is saying to enjoy the process. Okay. Also, what I want to say real quickly, you have the Judgment card. Okay, pile number 5. So Judgment card, you need to focus on next week your spirituality. This is the awakening card to spirituality. You see how he is blowing into the trumpet, and these people being raised from the grave. They're being raised out of their coffin. Awakening. Okay, so next week, the pile number 5, it's about you awakening to who you really are. You need to focus on next week meditation, calming yourself, because I think you possibly could be upset that you are quote unquote starting from the bottom of building a foundation, or things aren't going as fast as you want it to go. Understand, pile number 5, you are just at the beginning stages of whatever this is that you're working on, whether it's losing weight, gaining weight, starting a new job, maybe you just had a child. It could be anything. You're at the beginning stages. Maybe just start a relationship, whatever it is, you're at the beginning stages. So Spirit wants you to understand that you're building a foundation. You don't expect too much right now. Just keep building, keep working towards it. You're at the beginning. Don't give up. Okay, and to help you through it, it's telling you to focus more towards spirituality. Don't focus as much on the physical. Do what you have to do, but you need to bring in spirituality. This is what it's saying to you, that you need to bring in spirituality. Meditate. Okay, go within. Look at things from a spiritual perspective to help you through it, because someone that's watching this maybe feels kind of down because they're not possibly where they want to be in life at a certain age, or just a certain, maybe they've been working at something for a long time and it's not where they want it to be. So what Spirit is saying is that you're just beginning. You're building a foundation. Things take time. Have patience and tap into your spirituality to help you through it. It can definitely help you through it if you're feeling down. Okay, don't give up, pile number 5. All right, so if you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to my channel and see you next time.